geyser. Look at the size of this pit. It's hard to see because of how much steam's coming out of it today. It's a pretty cold day. It's only in the 40s. But we'll walk around here and see what you can see. If you look this way, there's a lot to it. But this is the pit. Oh, you can see, kind of see down there. I don't know if we keep going, you'll be able to see. The wind's got to be in our favor. It's Excelsior Geyser Crater in Yellowstone National Park. And we're in Wyoming. Look at that blue, holy crow. Now the other geysers are leaking out onto the ground that runs down right into the steam vents, not geysers necessarily. See it go on for miles. Coming up on another vent. This is in the same part of the park. This is Grand Prismatic Spring, and I'm really hoping we get to see some of those wild colors that you see in the magazines when they take pictures of this thing. But over on this side, you can see how the minerals got deposited onto the ground. The water's still flowing there, but it's leaving the minerals behind a little bit. Almost looks like sheets of ice on a winter thaw. But here, man, it's so cool looking. Getting these weird colors from the minerals that are in the ground coming up. That's actually bacterial mats. See that? Don't walk on the bacterial mats. And some of these alkalinity or the acidity of this water can sometimes be so corrosive it'll dissolve human flesh. So you really do not want to be in this stuff. A lot of these things are marked off to protect nature, but a lot of this place is marked off to protect you. That's an important thing to remember if you ever come and visit. That steam coming off there feels really good. It's like I said, it's in the 40s today. Look at the buffalo prints in there. So these the buffalo walk through here. It's like pretty crazy looking. And all the steam coming off, we're not going to be able to see that. Those springs we were just looking at run down that bank right into this river, and look at the colorful bacteria it leaves behind. That's really a neat thing to see. Oh yeah. The same thing that gives this valley life is the same thing that someday is going to take it away in a flash. Quite literally. This is a giant caldera of a volcano, super volcano, that has the possibility of going off any day now, between now and, well, probably a million years from now. But this is the stuff that keeps the stuff thawed. In a very cold winter, the big animals will come into these areas and be a little bit more comfortable, get a break from the sub-zero weather. See some mineral deposit right there that layered up. So neat. And beautiful mountains in the background too. That's why this park is always packed full of people. So this spring here, that's all bacterial mat out there growing. And then you got this hot spring, and that's calcium deposits and stuff. Look how deep that is. Look at beautiful color. If it was a little warmer out, we'd probably see it a lot better. Let's see if we can see it through my sunglasses. It's a little different. Now you can kind of see through there. Polarized lens. See, these are the paint pots. It's so weird looking. That's the bloody soupy mess. You can see it through there, spitting out. There you go. That's a lot of pressure there to be just blowing like that. So that magma's heating that water up. And sometimes it builds up enough to run down here. You can see the path that it makes. And it runs down to this bigger one down here. So let's go have a look at this one. Must be something cool because everybody's over here. Splashing all over. Check that out. And then that one comes out. It's splashing out there pretty good. And then that one comes out, splashes onto here, and looks like it occasionally runs underneath this. I don't know how the bison are even getting, oh, okay, they could just walk in over there, but they have to still step over everything to get in there to poop in there. Earthquake's offspring. Oh, look at this. Red spouter. You stand here, imagine traveling back in time to 1959. You would find yourself on a grassy knoll. Red spouter did not exist. Shortly before midnight, a major earthquake rocked Hebgen Lake, Montana, approximately 25 miles northwest of here. Jolts rippled through Yellowstone. In the aftermath, red spouter was born. So this did not even exist until August 17th, 1959. Wow. And then from there, I ran down into here. Now that looks like a nice place to take a dip. The bubbling spouts of water right there. The gas is coming up, boiling that. And that rim coming around. That looks like a comfortable hot spring. A lot of sulfur in there, but we don't know if it's real sulfury like this. It could be acidic. And there has been, people have died of these springs. I think it's Fire Canyon Road. Look at that pattern in the rock right there. That's awesome looking. Folded right up. Look, there's a cave up there. Let's see. So this is a little offshoot off the main loop that I don't know if many people go down it. It was only a couple of us pulling into this. We'll come down. Say water is very brown looking. Let's see how cold it is. Yeah. I mean, it's cold today anyway, but you definitely wouldn't want to go swimming in that now. That's just incredibly beautiful. sticking out. What's interesting is all this, there goes a little rock tumbling down. This almost like sand from the dissolved and broken down rock. And you can't really see it through the trees too well, but there's a lot of huge boulders there. You can see it all along the ridges there, here, and up here where there's been rock slides through the years as it erodes and breaks off and tumbles down. And then look at this side. You can see the big line in there. The rock folded up and everything. And then as it gets eroded and tumbled and beat on, it turns into almost like a soft looking sand. I don't know if the camera's picking up just the wind or if you can hear the gurgle coming from the ground. But that one right there is really gurgling. This is jet geyser, so this sucker will actually, no wonder it sounds like a jet.
Look what I did. I got it.
So that one could spout off at any time. We're gonna have to keep our eyes on that one. Let's check out this one over here though. Barrel Springs, it sounds like a commercial dryer running. Yeah, it's not through them garbage in here. Look how it builds up a crust around there and eventually erode it down and let it flow again. Too bad somebody was a jerk enough to throw garbage in there. Goes under here and across into the river. See it coming out. Just when I want to focus on it. Ooh, it smells really eggy. It's hot. You can feel it even this far back. Under proper lighting, this spring shines like a blue-green gemstone. Let's see. This one was greatly altered by the 1959 earthquake. The violent agitation of the water is due to volcanic gases, mostly steam. The temperature of the water is usually a few degrees below boiling point. It generally oscillates between 188.5 and 192 degrees. It's one of the hottest springs. And check out what it looks like in the wintertime when it coats everything, all the trees and stuff. Ghost trees. That's actually not a tree. No, it is gathered on the trees. Okay. There's some good little bubbles going on there. Look at the little pock marks that stay. Some of it is more viscous than other parts.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
So it goes across this whole area. This is all happening because we're in the caldera. No, we're still in it. This part loops back into it.
This one.
This one has.
Or you just record that.
Oh, show you that.
This is Porcelain Geyser, where we're going down continue. Look at the size of this place. We got all sorts of bear warnings, buffalo warnings, everything here. Listen to that thing roar. How it's bleached the forest. Wow. Very egg smell. More eggy than the last place. Hey, look at that violence it's coming out with. This is pretty wild. It's like a prehistoric wasteland. And all this ground is all soft enough where you can't really walk on it. Spots that you can, like you see tracks and stuff from where the buffalo walk through, but some of the areas could be soft enough where you can fall through at any minute because it's constantly changing underneath. But you see this little lake coming up here, this river coming up here of bacterial flow and algae and stuff. So there's a buffalo prints right there. Those colors. So very cool. There's a spring there. Get this over here. Load one up. So this area is known as sulfur terra, meaning sulfur from the sulfuric acid, terra as in earth. So it doesn't get violent eruptions because it softens everything so much that it just kind of bubbles out and steams out of the ground all over. So that's why nothing grows here very well, because it's so much sulfuric acid in the soil and stuff. It just scalds everything and kills it. Now some of these pines, even them, they're growing weakly around here, but pines, they tend to like acidic soil, so they're going to be the type of stuff you're going to see here. But man, it's like a wasteland. This whole area sounds like frying bacon. Roaring Mountain in Yellowstone National Park, and it's an easy one to see because you just pull into a parking lot and it's right here. You can't walk up to it or anything really because it's unsafe ground. You can see where all this stuff is caking in, but check that out. The whole mountain is smoking. This is the outer edge of the caldera. I don't think we entered the caldera back in yet, did we? No, we're on the outside edge. So right over that mountain line, that ridge actually at the top of that mountain is the caldera. Look how that caustic stuff comes down and kills just about everything in there except for a few of the pines. A lot of those pines got killed too. That's just incredible. Sheep eater cliffs in Yellowstone. This was named after the Indians that used the bighorn sheep quite a bit. And this formed about 500,000 years ago. It's basalt, so it's a lava flow that cooled really slowly. And when it did, it made these stacked columns. And you see some of these have obviously tumbled down through the years. It's just a really neat rock formation. It looks like you can go up there and restack them all. See, some of those look like they fell down as they fell. They fell down as a whole column. Look at that is there. You can see some bright green lichen starting to grow on some of this rock. It's a pioneering organism. And you got some mosses down in the crevices there. Get the chipmunks on the rocks. Two little chipmunks. Formation was formed by spring water coming through the stone, the limestone, and creates travertine deposits. It's starkly different from the rest of the landscape. Got a few weeds and other lichen and pioneering organisms growing. It almost looks like a face up there. Palette Springs. It's like a color palette. You can see how the colors are all right there and the springs right there. Now there's another one this way, right there. And look how that edge is so flat. And what's crazy, that just drops off. Looks like stairs.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your hike.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
All right, you guys, you want to go up and have a
Get that
snack?
again. This looks like stairs.
Oh, that's cool. Sorry, let me get myself out of here.
This is Mound Spring, and for obvious reasons. Look how much is flowing down there.
You must be fixing it, bud.
Really cool.
So as the outer edge evaporates, the water around the outer edge evaporates, it leaves a little bit of the minerals behind and creates those little cups.
Oh, that's cool.
Look, that one's empty right now, right there. So that one could fill up, come up and over, and you can see how once it evaporates, how it leaves these cool little pattern behind. It's pretty looking here, but it doesn't smell the greatest.
All right, you guys, you ready to go back up and have a snack?
That's like our 5th hat we've seen
Once we get this
in the
up,
water.
we'll have a little snack, okay? Come on.
Extraterrestrial landscape than something you would find here on Earth. You feel the heat coming off it. It might be just the sun reflecting. I don't know. It feels a little warmer than that. That's a raven. I'm gonna get him on screen. Let's see. There he is. Hey, buddy. You can tell it's a raven because he's soaring. A crow cannot soar. Plus his tail, it comes to more of a triangular point.
And they're bigger.
And they're much larger. He comes again. So we're at Calcite Springs. And it was funny, when we were driving up before we got to the sign for it, I could smell the sulfur and a little bit of a crude oil smell in the air. And the reason is because it says here, Calcite Springs hides a secret. Heat from the underground fractures releases deposits of oil from rocks deep below the surface to slowly and sporadically seep to the surface. They're hot enough at depth to liquefy large quantities of sulfur that are found here. Occasionally, the molten sulfur oozes to the surface where it flows like molasses. Because contact with air causes liquid sulfur to turn black, it is impossible to tell just by looking if the dark areas are oil or sulfur. It's named for the milky white calcite crystals that cover the area. So you see down there, that could be sulfur, it could be oil. Texas tea, black gold. And that butte right there. Beautiful spot. So the animals that you find at this park can be found in other places, and the wide open plains and even the mountains, but it's a combination of geologic features with these springs and unique calcite deposits and other interesting outcrops, and the combination of it all is what really makes Yellowstone Yellowstone. When this was first written about and sent back to the U.S. Capitol, the president thought they were lying about it. Look at that. Man, oh man. Check out that blue line in that rock down there. Just a different color layer. And this was formed from millions of years of the earth shrugging its shoulders, growing and crumbling, and erosion. Nature's a beautiful thing. Beautiful color of this. A little shelf there and it drops way in. I can't really even see the bottom. Just look how clear that is. And the bacteria changes the color. Spring. You hear other ones around here bubbling. This one over to this side here is bubbling. And there's some over there that are doing the same. I don't know how violent this gets. This is all it does, about 3 or 4 feet out. Looks like probably, judging by the splash circle around it. Pretty neat. Basin. I'll give you guys a quick look around. I mean, it's really kind of everywhere. So what I wanted to show you, this is the algae that's growing, or bacteria, not algae, I'm sorry. Bacteria that's growing in these vents. And you see in other spots, but what I want to show you today is look at all those little flies. They're obviously feeding on this bacteria that grows. I don't think they're a biting insect. I think that's what they're focused on, is this bacteria that's here. Just neat. This is Emerald Springs, which is in, what's the Black Sands Basin? There sure are some black sands here, but most of them aren't. What's the name of this part, Liv? West Thumb. So West Thumb, part of Yellowstone. This is your first major stop if you come in the south entrance, right? You can see over that direction. So actually the Grand Tetons are probably that way, if I remember right. Might be able to when we get down by the water. So here it's interesting because you have the big Yellowstone Lake, and some of these hot springs are actually in the lake itself, where you get to see them come up. These guys are up on the shore. Sorry about the shaky camera, but the boardwalk's a little rough. This way. This is the thumb paint pot, so this is going to be blurping out stuff. Might be too much water in it now to see the blurpies compared to other parts of the year. Actually pretty surprising how often you see birds that are more associated with the ocean here. Like that little pulver there. So check out how the shoreline here has almost a reef-like feature, even though it's a freshwater lake. You can see like little circles of patterns there. There's one, there's another one over there. I think are probably hot water streams coming in the lake. Let's check out what these ducks are. It goes right under. There he is. Alright guys, so this is the mud volcano, appropriately named. And boy, you are missing the smell, because it stinks like rotten eggs. It will actually erupt. In 1870 it erupted. As high as the treetops, it says. Yes, there's hydrogen sulfide gas rising from Yellowstone's magma chamber. That's what's giving it that rotten egg smell. There's microorganisms, just like the other hot springs that grow around in here. They're called thermophiles, which means heat-loving. They use that gas for source of energy, and it helps them turn the gas into sulfuric acid, and the sulfuric acid breaks down the rocks and the soil into the mud. So it kind of keeps it like a perpetual cycle. So a lot of the colors here are actually the thermophiles you're seeing. It's pretty neat. This is the Dragon's Mouth. So we're at the mud volcano in Yellowstone.
What is yours again?
Well, the steam coming out kind of like a dragon breathing fire. And then you can read, let's read the thing about why it's called.
Pretty neat, isn't it? There's some of this bacteria here. It starts off like a sunset orange. It goes into like a pumpkin orange. And then by the time it gets out there, it's like a rusty red. All coming from this beautiful blue, crystal blue spring here. You can see the pattern, or the ripples of the pattern of the water as the heat comes up through. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Really, everywhere you look at this place is pretty amazing. The crusted deposits around the edge look like salts, even though they're not salt. This is Black Pool. And I don't know if you can see through the fog how deep it is, but it's pretty darn deep. Lakeside spring for good reason. Runs here, goes underneath this boardwalk, and right to the lake where we're filming those ducks. Mud cauldron, again appropriately named. You listen to it. I don't know if you can see it through here, but it's bubbling up in that back corner. Might not be able to see it through the fog coming off there, the water vapor. But it sounds like the ocean with the birds singing and the whooshy sound of the water. I'm going to come across this way, and on our left side when we get up over the hill here is Mud Geyser, and if we're lucky we'll get to see it erupt. Probably not though. This is so cool. This path goes up and around. I don't think we'll have time to do the whole path today. There's a bison down there. So that's the mud geyser. That thing must be pretty big because they're keeping us pretty far away from it, and you can see the devastation around it. This little camera will zoom in. Big animal. Those things can weigh a ton, literally a ton, 2,000-pound animal, sometimes even more. Here, guys are over to our right here. This is what people come to Yellowstone for. Geysers, bison, rivers, valleys, and mountains, and we got it all right here in one shot. How cool is that? That's nice. It's incredible. You got bear warnings and stuff here, and you can see why. It's like you can come around any corner here and it could be something else. So, of the mud volcano stop at Yellowstone. And up here at the top, you got this geyser that's gushing. That's splashing the water down, keeping that little stream going. Stinky stream of rotten eggs, sulfur and sulfuric acid. You feel the heat coming off there. You can see the steam. Today it's probably about, what do you think, Liberty? About 60 right now, maybe. There we go. The churning cauldron. Spectacular views. It's too bad it didn't smell as good as it looks. You know, just walk and there's this lake. That's a big cauldron, really. I don't think that was to support anything for life. It's just pretty colors and a pretty view. He's still smoking and steaming. Crazy. It's 2.2 million acres. There's no way you could even see it all in your lifetime. But first off, you can't access most of it because we're only allowed to see a portion of this park. Most of it is off limits to humans without special permission. But this stuff's hiding all over the place because we're in the cauldron, aren't we? The caldera again. So this is the very active south side of the park. Look at that. It just keeps on going too. Truly amazing. This is why this is our first national park, and not just our first national park, but it's also on the World Registry for important places on Earth. Now I'm going to show you something else. Up on the hill there in the woods, there's a big old buffalo right there. We're fine.
We're not filming.
He's walking the other way.
Yeah. 2,000 pounds.
they're in velvet right there. I think their antlers look when they're in velvet. Must be pretty young when there's that much of a rack started yet. Cooking and sizzling here all day. Bloop, 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 bloop. Gotta get used to this one. Check this out, guys. There's 4 American bison. Genus and species name is easy to remember. Bison, bison. These guys, they started off up on the hill and they just kind of moseyed on down. And looking our way, those are some big animals. Looking at 2,000 pounds. I bet you out there, I bet 2,000 pounds. Like, I think I would be bigger than that. They're just walking through. Forrest was over there walking up towards that spring. That lead guy there, he was flopping around wilding not too long ago. Pretty darn cool.